runners divided into 7 teams left the Pentagon Monday and will run relay-style 240 miles through Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and New York. Meanwhile, 17 cyclists, also divided into 7 teams, are making their way to Bedford, Pennsylvania, near the Flight 93 Memorial. That marks the site where 40 passengers and crew members died on September 11th. The money raised will fund scholarships for families of fallen and injured first responders and military. Keith Peters reporting.
Another check on Wall Street now. The Dow is off 25 points. The NASDAQ is 42 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
America spends 5 to 10 times more on health care than any other country in the world. Then why does America rank number 43 worldwide for longevity? Third world countries, such as Cuba and Costa Rica, rank higher than the U.S. So what's wrong with healthcare in America? This is what's wrong. Our $3 trillion healthcare industry is focused on disease management, while 70% of our planet relies on traditional indigenous medicine that is focused on health optimization. Learn how. Join Dr. Dan Royal on the show The Royal Treatment, bringing you the latest information on the best of medicine, biotechnology, and pharmacology, as well as secrets from the past. These secrets have withstood the test of time and are being rediscovered today. In fact, indigenous healthcare practitioners are using them for the benefit of their patients who seek optimal health and wellness. Now, here is Dr. Dan Royal.
Greetings, listeners. I am Dr. Dan Royal, and you are now listening to The Royal Treatment. We're here every week to answer your health questions, because you have questions, we have answers. And that's why we're here, because your doctor can't answer those questions. Did you know that? Your doctor is there for disease management. Do you have a disease? Hopefully not. But if you do, that's what your doctor is there for, to prescribe a drug to manage your disease symptoms. Do you want to be healthy? That's why we are here, to assist you along your journey to health optimization. We're actually the antithesis of what conventional medicine has been set up to do. We're known as traditional medicine. Traditional medicine includes all things alternative, holistic, complementary, and so forth. Conventional medicine that everybody accepts as normal here and throughout most of the world is drug-oriented. You have a symptom, we have a disease, we have a protocol for that. It's called drugs, medications. And those medications have what? They have side effects. I had a patient in my office this morning who came in because she's having hot flashes, a not uncommon symptom of someone who is going through menopause, along with night sweats. And she had been taking a synthetic hormone, a hormone drug, if you will, but those hormone prescriptions are not hormones. Those are drugs. Why do I say that? Well, because drugs have side effects. That means the drug may be approved for one thing, but 99 things can go wrong. What a surprise when things don't turn out as expected. Oh, I got my hot flashes controlled, but now I've got breast cancer. Congratulations, that's a side effect of the medication you were taking. But natural products don't have those side effects. They have direct effects. So we drew her blood. We're going to get her baselines. We will put her on a natural hormone combination that we'd like to use for our patients, along with adrenal hormones. Adrenal hormones are important. Why? When you wake up in the morning, your adrenal hormones should be high. They should get you out of bed and get you going. That is the energy you need to get you throughout the day. And when you retire to bed at night, those adrenal hormones are now low. You should be sleeping and regenerating throughout the night. Yes, we need to be able to recuperate from a day's work. And so our body needs a timeout. So our brain, if things are working properly, can resonate with our body organs, assuming it's exposed to a sufficient magnetic Gauss Earth field, which we need to survive. We talked about this last week on the show. You put animals in a Faraday cage where they are exposed to no magnetic field from the earth. Guess what happens? You got it. They die. Within hours to days, but they die. We need that Earth's magnetic field to regenerate. And that's particularly important at night. Last week we talked about the benefits of using magnetic sleep pads and the studies that were done with them at 5 Gauss. Currently, the Earth's magnetic field is 0.5 Gauss and declining. Studies were done at 5 Gauss, which is 10 times higher than what the Earth's magnetic field currently is. But we recommend nothing less than 10 Gauss for our patients, and if you have cancer, you're going to need 20 Gauss. 10 Gauss is a type of magnetic sleep pad that goes between your mattress and your box spring. It's a static magnetic field that you're exposed to continually while you are sleeping, as it should be. But the point is, getting back to the patient we saw this morning, we gave her adrenal hormones to go along with her natural hormone combination to deal with her symptoms, but in a way that will be healthy. Why is this important? Well, you're having hot flashes because your FSH, follicle stimulating hormone produced by the brain, is too high. It is being produced at excessively high levels, trying to stimulate estrogen that is no longer available from your body organs. Now, some people believe that the real cause of breast cancer, or at least one of the causes, is this high level of FSH. It is very easily addressed by giving the patient natural hormones. Now, there are some hormones that could bring it down, such as testosterone and progesterone, that will break down to estrogen to some degree. And there are stronger hormones, types of estrogen, such as estradiol, the strongest of the three, along with estrone and estriol, that can help to lower that FSH and keep those so-called hot flashes under control. The benefit of taking hormones is that they will help make you more youthful. They help your skin to be thicker. They help your blood vessels to be more flexible. And we all know how important that is, with heart disease being the #1 cause of death, at least in this country. Recently, there was a summit held in Paris where 12 of the 17 industrial nations were found to have cancer now as the #1 cause of death. Let's not let that happen to you. Well, during the next segment of our show, we're going to review obituaries. People who died too young from diseases they shouldn't have had, locally and internationally. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's show, Turtle Handyman Clinic, where I work. That's here in Las Vegas. You can reach us at 702-562-1454. That's 702-562-1454. Feel free to email me with any questions at droyal@royalmedicalclinic.com. That's D as in Daniel Royal, ROYAL at royalmedicalclinic, all one word.com. We're going to take a short break, but when we get back from the break, we will continue our discussion. So stay with us.
After forming all the organs and body components necessary for human life, stem cells disappear, right? No! Stem cells are present in all of us, just waiting for an opportunity to regenerate organs, joints, ligaments, muscles, and other body tissues they originally formed. Dr. Dan Royal has developed a unique patent-pending process for obtaining stem cells from your own blood. Stem cells can be concentrated, prepared, and delivered to areas where you need them most to repair old, damaged, and dying cells. Can your own stem cells help rejuvenate your body? To find out, call Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Your own naturally occurring stem cells are the ultimate anti-aging treatment. They can be used to improve facial appearance and hair growth, as well as for aches, pains, and other conditions. Could your own stem cells help you achieve optimal health and wellness? Find out by calling Dr. Royal at 702-562-1454. Don't wait, call today. That number again is 702-562-1454.
Hello, I'm Omar Raines, author of the international best-selling book, Back to the Summit, How One Man Defied Death and Paralysis to Again Lead a full life of service to others. Now in its second edition, Back to the Summit has been reprinted in countries worldwide. All profits from the sale of this book go to support humanitarian causes of lasting importance. However, the principal reason for writing the book was to inspire others who, like me, have been faced with a major medical challenge. Back to the Summit is available in hardcover, paperback, or as an ebook. An audio edition is also available. Whatever the modality or format, it can easily be ordered on Amazon or from your favorite bookstore. Whether you read or listen to Back to the Summit, I hope that it will serve as an inspiration to you or to someone you know. Again, I'm Omer Rains. If you wish to learn more, my website is senorains.com. That's SENORAINS.com. Have a wonderful day.
Businesses, writers, check this out. Go to lrpnv.com to get your printing, publishing, and professional services today. Need a virtual office? A place to receive and forward your mail with professional address and suite number for your business? Someone to answer your telephones? Want to rent a conference room for only $15 an hour? What about that book you've been wanting to have printed? LRP Printing and Business Center can do it for you, and they have a professional assistant on site daily, Monday through Friday. Just call 775-356-1004. Need copies, business cards, invoices, books, booklets, or graphic design to help brand you or your business? Just call 775-356-1004 or go to lrpnv.com. With a great selection of new and used books, you can get your printing done and a book to entertain you in your time off. And don't forget, you could have your business sponsoring the Bookhound Radio Show, just like Andrew Martoni, author of Little Man on the Map, does every week. Just go to lrpnv.com. That's lrpnv.com or call 775-356-1004. They'll provide solutions for your business and writing projects.
This is America Matters Media
on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
We are back to the show, and I'm glad you're back. I'm hoping you're glad to be here. One of our purposes of the Royal Treatment is to empower you with information you can use to make better informed healthcare decisions. Hopefully, we can accomplish that goal. You only need to learn one new thing during this program in order for your time to have been well spent. That's my philosophy. When I go to a medical meeting, medical conference, such as I will be doing this weekend, I'll be speaking actually in Reno on the 14th of this month at the Peppermill Hotel, where I'll be talking about the Nagalase study we did last year with our patients. We have an oral protocol to lower Nagalase. And very simple, very safe, and very effective. Why is this important? Well, first of all, consider that Nagalase is only available through one lab in the United States. Nagalase is an enzyme that's produced by cancer and viruses to paralyze your immune system so they cannot recognize them, produce macrophages to attack and eliminate them. So it's important that we know what your baseline Nagalase is if you have an active virus, such as Epstein-Barr virus, that is an adult manifestation of mono, that is an activity in about half the patients we see. You're walking around and you don't know that your Epstein-Barr is active or don't suspect anything if you feel relatively normal. Now, if you're fatigued and can't get out of bed, you might have a clue, but that's not the only way it can affect you. It's important to check for it. Check when you draw your blood for EBV, early antigen, also known as EBV antigen D, as in dog. Why is this important? Well, EBV is a cancer-causing virus. Would you like to know if you have a cancer-causing virus in you that is active? That one is very easily tested through the local lab, but you have to test for that exact laboratory parameter. There are other types of antibodies you can get for Epstein-Barr virus, but that's the only one, in my opinion, that matters. Anyway, getting back to the Nagalase, we had a patient in this morning who's been going through a series of treatments using our Proton protocol. This is a combination of light, sound, and frequency to lower cancer antibodies, but to also lower nagalase. And through the series of treatments, her nagalase level has come down to almost normal. This is important because she was diagnosed with a type of ureteral cancer. That's a cancer of the tube between your kidneys and your bladder. Very rare. In fact, it was a squamous cell type of cancer. And guess what? They don't even have a chemotherapy drug for this type of cancer. She ended up having surgery, removing her ureter and her kidney. And so she has been going through our protocol to make sure the cancer has been eliminated. So far, so good. Things are moving in the right direction. She's feeling great, as she should be. We don't make anybody sicker with what we do. And the nice thing is that if you like what we do, if it's working for you and others, it can be done at home. For more information, call 702-562-1454. 702-562-1454. Email me, droyal@royalmedicalclinic.com. For the break, I thanked our sponsors, or one of them, Turtle Healing Band Clinic here in Las Vegas, where I work. They are under the jurisdiction of an Indian nation. We have another sponsor, First Nation Medical Board, which is under the jurisdiction of the Crow Tribe of Indians. We thank them for stepping forward to help regulate and exercise jurisdiction over the practice of traditional medicine, also known as indigenous medicine, because it came before so-called conventional medicine with all of its drugs. We're talking about complementary, holistic medicines that include even such things as homeopathy and acupuncture and so forth. You can find them on the web at www.firstnationmedicalboard, all one word, .com. You can also find us, www.turtlehealingbandclinic.com as well. So let's get going. As promised, we want to review obituaries. This is a list of people who died too young from diseases they shouldn't have had just this last week. Why is this important? It's important because we try to keep our pulse of what's going on here in this country and around the world, because average life expectancy is decreasing, not improving. In other words, our so-called healthcare, quality healthcare, is not getting better. People are not living longer, they're living less. In the U.S., the average life expectancy is about 78 and a half years of age. For men, it's about 76, women about 82. Keep that in mind, or I should say women, it's about 81. Keep that in mind as we go through this list. We have a 27-year-old man, an automotive photographer, who had over 30 surgeries for tracheal esophageal fistula. He died. 41-year-old woman, a dancer, singer, and actress, passed away. 45-year-old man who worked as an EMT and a database design, passed away. 58-year-old woman, a ballet dancer and food server, passed away. 60-year-old man who worked as a construction superintendent died unexpectedly at his home, which means sudden death from heart attack. 62-year-old woman who worked in the paper office for University of Nevada, Reno, passed away from Alzheimer's disease. Now the number one cause of death in the United Kingdom, dementia. 63-year-old woman who worked for a surgical group passed away unexpectedly from, sudden death from heart attack. 66-year-old woman, a registered nurse, passed away at home. 70-year-old man who worked procedures, entertainment, and Harris died peacefully at home. 71-year-old man, an electrician who served in the Army and as a paratrooper, died peacefully in his home. 71-year-old man who served in the United States Air Force and worked in the casino industry passed away peacefully in his home. 72-year-old man who worked for the city of Reno and as an underground sewer inspector passed away. 72-year-old woman who worked in escrow and realty died after a 10-month battle fighting acute pancreatitis, which, by the way, is very painful. 73-year-old man, a member and instructor for the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, passed away. 75-year-old woman passed away, leaving behind 5 grandchildren. She will be missed. 75-year-old man who owned his own phone company passed away from COPD, congestive obstructive pulmonary disease. His wife died a few years earlier from lung cancer. It must have been smokers. 76-year-old man who worked as an executive chef on the Las Vegas Strip. He died at his home after a brief illness. And finally, 76-year-old woman passed away after her brief illness. Now let's look at international deaths of celebrity notables. Those were local people who died here just last week in Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, too young from diseases they shouldn't have had. What happened around the world? Well, we have Chris Duncan, American baseball player for the St. Louis Cardinals. He died at 38 years of age from glioblastoma, a brain tumor. Chester Williams, South African rugby union player for the national team and coach, died at 49 years of age from a heart attack at 49 years of age. Paul Lyons, Australian Olympic Taekwondo practitioner, Ninja Warrior contestant, died at 50 years of age, suddenly in his sleep. Sem Rinpoche, Taiwanese-born Malaysian Tibetan Tulku, died at 53 years of age from liver failure. Dulce Garcia, Cuban Olympic javelin thrower, 1992, died at 54 years of age from cardiac arrest or heart attack. Chris March, American fashion designer, died at 56 years of age from a heart attack. Peter Ellis, New Zealand convicted child molester, died at 61 years of age from bladder cancer. Well, he was a celebrity, after all. Jose Moreno, Dominican baseball player for Major League Baseball, National League, died at 61 years of age from pulmonary failure. Atli Evildsson, Icelandic soccer player for the national team and manager, died at 62 years of age from cancer. Lavrintis Masharitsas, Greek rock musician, died at 62 years of age from a heart attack. Les Adams, English DJ and producer at LA Mix, died at 63 years of age from a heart attack. Marco Bristow, American disability rights activist, I should say Marsha, died at 66 years of age from cancer. She was a female. Dorothea Benton Frank, American author, died at 67 years of age from myelodysplastic syndrome. Abid Ali, Pakistani actor and director, died at 67 years of age from liver failure. Dan Warner, American Grammy Award-winning musician, died at 67 years of age from a heart attack. Abid Ali, Pakistani actor and director, died at 67 years of age from liver failure. Sergei Kripchenko, Russian diplomat and ambassador to Egypt, died suddenly at 68 years of age in an Egyptian hospital there. Sir Christopher Dobson, British chemist, master of St. John's College, Cambridge, died at 69 years of age from cancer. They had no answers for him. James Atlas, American publisher for Penguin Books, died at 70 years of age from escalation of a chronic lung condition. Bertie Murphy, Irish racehorse trainer, died at 70 years of age after a long battle with cancer. Camilio Sesto, Spanish singer-songwriter, died at 72 years of age from heart failure. John Wesley, American actor, died at 72 years of age from multiple myeloma, bone marrow disease. Chang Shok Tin, Singaporean multimedia artist, died at 73 years of age from lung cancer. Bill Harris, American film critic, journalist with Entertainment Tonight, died at 75 years of age after a short battle with cancer, which may be better than a long battle. Carol Lindley, American actress, died at 77 years of age from a heart attack. Kiran Nagarkar, Indian novelist, died at 77 years of age from a brain hemorrhage, stroke of some sort. Lito Legaspi, Filipino actor, died at 77 years of age from a cardiac arrest. And finally, Pierre Nadeau, Canadian broadcaster for Radio Canada and journalist, died at 82 years of age from Parkinson's disease. He's actually an honorable mentor. I'm Dr. Dan Royal. Listen to the Royal Treatment. We're going to continue our discussion right after the break because we have lots more to say, so please stay with us.
Low-dose chemotherapy uses only 10 to 20% of full-dose chemo, and it's known as IPT, or insulin-potentiated therapy. It's one of the safest and most innovative approaches to treating cancer effectively. IPT virtually eliminates side effects of full-dose chemo, such as nausea, hair loss, and fatigue. Could IPT be the answer you've been searching for? To find out, call Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. IPT uses low-dose chemo with insulin. Cancer cells have up to 20 times more insulin receptors and use up to 20 times more sugar than normal cells. That's why cancer cells thrive while normal cells struggle to survive. One study showed that using low-dose chemo with insulin resulted in a 10,000% increase in cancer-killing ability. Could IPT with low-dose chemo and insulin help you? Call Dr. Royal at 702-562-1454 to see if you qualify for IPT. That's 702-562-1454.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theaters held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
The Delta and Bonanza saloons in Virginia City are simply elegant. Imagine ascending the grand staircase and being surrounded by the Victorian elegance and grandeur of the historic banquet rooms. Original crystal chandeliers, mahogany bars, and oak dance floors highlight the eloquently appointed spaces. A truly romantic and unique setting for your wedding, banquets, or holiday parties. Detailed ceremony and menu planning ensures your special event is a memorable occasion. With just one call to Jesse at 775-847-0789, all of your arrangements will be handled by their experienced staff with your every expectation in mind, including cakes, flowers, photography, videography, music, and party amenities. Complete ceremony and reception packages are available, as well as their famous themed weddings. Since 1865, the Delta and Bonanza Saloons guests have come from every state in the union. Now it's your turn. No event is too large or too small. Let the Delta and Bonanza Saloons plan your next incredible event. Call Jesse at 775-847-0789.
Business owners and entrepreneurs know that good information is priceless. Just one great idea can make all the difference. Hi, this is Joe Morabito, host of CEO Business Mind. Each week, in one fast-paced hour, we share lots of proven tips and ideas to help you be more successful in business. Don't miss a minute of CEO Business Mind with me, Joe Morabito, right here on 1180 AM KCKQ.
This is America Matters Media
On AM 1180 KCKQ.
a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
We're back to the show, and thank you for coming back. During this next segment, we are going to be talking about electromagnetic fields, particularly the 5G technology. And then we're going to be talking during the last portion of our hour, current events and studies that have been recently published that you might find interesting and need to know about. But first, I'd like to summarize something we talked about a little while back, and that was the antidepressant drugs, the so-called serotonin inhibitors. They all lead to an unwanted side effect called suicide. They can make you more aggressive and even lead to homicide. I had a friend of mine tell me the other day she was taking one of these SSRIs known as Lexapro, and her complaint was, I have no energy. Well, as I said before, when you take a drug, it may be approved for one thing, for which the pharmaceutical industry spent $2.5 billion to get, but it may cause 99 things to go wrong. And some of the more common things would be your energy, fatigue, headache. These SSRIs frequently cause weight gain. I told her it's not unusual for me to see a patient that gains 40 pounds. She said, well, I haven't gained 40 pounds, although she has gained 15 pounds. And I know that women are conscientious about their weight, so that can't be good. But one of the things you need to know about these SSRIs that allegedly increase your serotonin by blocking receptors is that they create the exact opposite of what should be happening in your life, your diurnal rhythm, day and night. What should be happening? Well, when you go to sleep, your serotonin should be increasing. At nighttime, it's not a day happy hormone. It's a nighttime happy hormone because 5-HT, which breaks down to tryptophan, which puts you to sleep, which breaks down to serotonin. That all happens at night, my friends. But when you're taking your antidepressant and you're increasing serotonin in the day, your night has been turned into day. Your life is upside down and backwards. Not surprising, you're going to have some symptoms. But there are some things you can do to naturally improve your mood. In fact, there was a study that showed that if we make an effort to smile more and to do so naturally, it increases our health, our well-being. Even marriages last longer if we just try to be a little more cheerful. It can make a difference in our life. That's easy. But what else can you do? Well, you avoid excess of phosphates relative to calcium in your diet. That means cut down on your soda pop. Cut down on additives in your coffee. Those are phosphates. You can drink milk at night. It's still a good thing to do. Now, it doesn't have to be cow's milk. If you have some kind of a sensitivity, it could be almond milk, rice milk, goat's milk. There are alternatives, but they do increase serotonin, tryptophan more directly and serotonin indirectly. And during the day, being in a brightly lighted environment with regular sunlight exposure that converts your vitamin D from inactive to active form, that can affect your mood. And then these things together can minimize the harmful effects of excessive serotonin, which you would only get by taking a drug, and reduce inflammation, which some people believe is a cause of cancer, fibrosis, which is a hardening of your tissues, and atrophy, which is a shrinking of your tissues. All these things have been associated with excess serotonin antidepressant drugs. Beware. So now let's talk about some of the things that are being discussed in relative to 5G technology. Not something we can get away from when they're launching 20,000 satellites to make sure that the entire world is blanketed with this 5G technology, whether you want it or not. Last week we talked about some of the ways you can protect yourself, and I mentioned it again at the beginning of this hour, and that is use a magnetic sleep pad to make sure that your body is being regenerated and you're being protected against electric smog or electrosmog while you are sleeping. At least during that time, get some sleep, regenerate, allow your brain to resonate with your body tissues. Well, the first report of injury of 5G in the news comes from the country of Switzerland. 5G has been launched in 102 locations there. The French magazine Illustré, which is in the French language but published in Switzerland, interviewed people living in Geneva after the 5G rollout with alarming details of illness. In the article, they reported with neighbors who met to discuss their many common symptoms and many unanswered questions. What were some of the symptoms that these families experienced as a result of being exposed to 5G technology that's supposed to be so good for us, or at least for somebody's pocketbook somewhere? Symptoms included loud ringing in the ear, intense headaches, unbearable earaches, insomnia, meaning they couldn't sleep, chest pain, could stimulate a heart attack, fatigue, and not feeling well in their own homes. What's interesting about this technology that's being rolled out across the world without our permission, but certainly with our knowledge to some degree, no serious studies exist on their long-term effects. We know that there are effects from microwave technology, health effects, none of which are good. The technology was developed in China and then moved to the United States. It's interesting to note that Google, the search engine, is no longer allowing for the advertising of stem cells. They claim that they, of course, are trying to protect the public until rigorous studies have been conducted by and under the supervision of the FDA. Nobody's doing that for 5G technology. Why? Why is a good question. Well, people are claiming, or I suppose the promoters of 5G technology are claiming, that millions of fast connections enable communication between your mobile devices and wherever they're transmitting to. But is this communication being enabled instead of people being disabled from communicating due to illness? Something we need to think about. There was a woman, her name is Ann Mills. She wrote about her experience with wireless radiation poisoning that occurred in Germany. The title of her author is All EMF'd Up. She met with her German physician, Dr. Horst Eger, to confirm her symptoms. They were the symptoms of microwave illness that's seen typically in military radar personnel and those working in microwave towers. The New York Times and CBS reported unexplained symptoms in diplomats living in China and Cuba in 2017 and 18. The source of their unexplained symptoms, many of which were neurological, was found to be microwave radiation. Now, these symptoms included some of the things we mentioned that are happening in Switzerland. Imagine that. Sleep problems, headaches, strange auditory sounds, anxiety, dizziness. Again, similar to the exact same symptoms reported to occur with microwave illness in military studies from pulsed microwave technology. We know that micrometer technology can be disabling because they're using it for crowd control. They're no longer using rubber bullets. They're no longer using tear gas. They're no longer using water. They're using micrometer technology. You flip a switch and it causes abdominal pain and disables you. There was a Dr. Scott Eberly who published about his own experience with wireless radiation poisoning in 2014 in a publication called Sonora Medicine. And you can read about his experience, which is entitled An Underworld Journey, Learning to Cope with Electrical Hypersensitivity by Dr. Scott Eberly. There's also another issue associated with the 5G technologies. Electric smart meters are installed. This happened to Cindy DeBach in Scottsdale, Arizona, and her neighborhood. She recalls the day a new meter was mounted on her home as a sort of digital Pearl Harbor attack. I've never been so sick in my life, she says. Nausea, crushing migraine, headache, and painful heart palpitations laid me low right away. DeBach became unable to sleep normally. She soon became exhausted and tearfully anxious as she struggled with rashes and a chronically racing heart. For relief, she would spend nights sleeping in her car. Get that? She wasn't comfortable in her own home because of the smart meter that had been posted there. One of her dogs died of cancer within 6 months of the meter's installation, and the other dog developed large tumors. Now, these new meters are part of a nationwide project dubbed Advanced Metering Infrastructure, AMI. Most folks call this evolving makeover the smart grid. Smart meters can be programmed to read and transmit data monthly or up to every 15 seconds. According to the Institute of Electrical Efficiency, nearly 40% of U.S. households now have an electric smart meter by 2013, with a total of 65 million smart meters projected to be installed by 2015, and more than half of U.S. households with them. I'm Dr. Dan Royal, listening to the Royal Treatment. We're going to continue our discussion. We come back from the break, so please don't go away. Stay with us.
Can your own stem cells heal you? The miracle of life begins when an egg and a sperm unite. They form a single stem cell. Stem cells will keep dividing until directed by the body to become something else. Natural occurring stem cells can be found in all tissues of your body. Can your own stem cells help your body heal and repair itself? Find out more by calling Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Dr. Royal has developed a unique patent-pending process for obtaining stem cells from your own blood. Stem cells can be concentrated, prepared, and delivered to areas where you need them most to repair old, damaged, and dying cells. Can your own stem cells help your body heal and repair itself? Are you a cancer patient in remission who needs rejuvenation for optimal health and wellness? Find out more by calling Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Don't wait, call today. That number again is 702-562-1454.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station, the power of radio since 1967.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now back to the show.
We are back to the show, and I'm Dr. Dan Royal, and you, my friends, are now listening to the Royal Treatment. Thank you for staying with us. We're now in the fourth quarter of our show. And before the break, we were talking about 5G technology and smart meters, electric smart meters. I just want to finish up our discussion here before we go on to some other current events. The smart meter technology is all nested within the American Recovery and Investment Act of 2009. The Obama administration shoveled an estimated $11 billion into incentive programs for utilities that participate in making us all guinea pigs for this smart meter technology, which has not been tested on humans in long-term studies of any kind, much less the rigorous kind that Google is demanding of stem cell advertising on its website. The Department of Energy and Agriculture, among the federal heavyweights behind this advanced metering infrastructure, or AMI, several universities and corporations stand to profit hugely by providing AMI equipment, software, and expertise. Now we get to where the rubber meets the road. These corporations include General Electric, IBM, Hewlett-Packard, Siemens, Toshiba, Microsoft, Cisco, Verizon, Google, to name just a few. Now, neither the federal government nor grid profiteers have undertaken a single public health study, not one, about the long-term effects of exposure to electromagnetic radiation from these so-called smart meters. Yet there are peer-reviewed studies that report DNA damage, abnormal genetic and hormonal changes, sperm damage, pregnancy complications, weakening of the blood-brain barrier, which makes you susceptible to infections in your brain, disturbance of voltage-gated calcium channels, for example, in the heart, leading to heart complications, degradation of your immunity or immune deficiency, and certain types of cancers. Who's most at risk from this 5G technology and electric smart meters? Well, children, of course. They are at particular risk for altered brain development and for impaired learning and behavior. You would think if for nothing else, we would conduct studies for the safety and the sake of our children. The legal profession is built around protecting the interest of the child. The medical profession does not seem to be doing so, or at least the government imposing its technology upon us does not seem to care about the medical implications. There was a blockbuster bioinitiative report in 2012. This bioinitiative report offers a meta-analysis looking at many studies, over 1,800 new scientific studies showing that chronic exposure to ELF, electromagnetic fields, and microwaves poses a serious health hazard. Again, those most at risk include, first of all, children, but then unborn children, pregnant mothers, the elderly, and the immune compromised. By some estimates, utility consumers will pay at least $225 billion to blanket this nation of America, with AMI smart meters. Now, these smart meters can cost hundreds of dollars per household, but the Attorney General of Massachusetts has predicted that the cost of each meter in his state may be as much as $3,000. The AMI equipment manufacturers suggest that meters may need to be replaced as often as every 3 years to keep up with technical innovations, of course. This would force consumers like you and me to continually pay for new hardware that we have been coerced to accept, whether we like it or not. The technology is coming. It's already here in half the American households across the country. You need to protect yourselves, my friends. Invest in your health every day by taking good quality supplements, getting adequate sleep, exercising, which I want to talk about briefly in just a moment, but also in doing things that can be done to minimize your exposure to electrosmog. We talked about that last week in more detail, using magnetic sleep pads. Again, there's ways by which you can get diodes to protect you. There's copper wire that can be wound and put inside a bottle cap, put in your pocket. You can get diodes for your phone. All these things we need to be thinking about to protect ourselves against electrosmog that's affecting our nervous system, particularly our brain. If you would like to know more about the magnetic sleep pad, please feel free to email me at droyal@royalmedicalclinic.com. D as in Daniel, Royal, R-O-Y-A-L, just like it sounds, Royal Blue at royalmedicalclinic, all one word.com. Now, the reason I ask you to email me is because if you would like a free price quote on a magnetic sleep pad, I can give it to you. But I need to know the size of your bed. Is it a king bed or is it a king cow, queen, single? Let me know whether you're interested in a single pad, which would be 10 gauss, or a double pad. If you have cancer, use a double pad, which is 20 gauss. And I will give you a free quote. Well, would you like to be in shape? I've been trying something new myself. I like to vary my exercise routine from time to time. And one of the things I was interested in is, what does it take to be in military shape? Are you in military shape? Some of you might be. It's not as difficult as you might think. Let's take a look. Let's say you want to be in shape for the Army. Here's what the Army requires. This is a minimum. 42 push-ups for men, 19 push-ups for women. Now, I've been doing these last few weeks 100 push-ups. I have a methodology which I have been using. Today, I did more than that. But I've been doing 100 push-ups now on a more regular basis, along with the 100 abdominal rolls, which helps to strengthen your core. I've been doing 100 sit-ups for quite a long time, every time I go to the spa. But the Army requires only 42 push-ups for men, 19 push-ups for women. How many sit-ups? Well, 53 sit-ups for men and women, both. The Marines call these crunches. We'll get to that in a minute. And then it comes to running. For the Army, you need to run 2 miles in less than 15 minutes and 54 seconds. That's for men. If you're a woman, you need to run 2 miles in less than 18 minutes and 30 seconds. So there you have it. That's what it takes to be in military shape for the Army. 42 push-ups, 53 sit-ups, 2 miles in less than 54 seconds if you're a man, 19 push-ups, 53 sit-ups, and running a mile in under 18 minutes, 30 seconds if you're a woman. Now let's look at the Marines. What does it take to be in military shape for the Marines? Well, first of all, we start off with the push-ups. 42 push-ups in 2 minutes. So these are now timed. Now, ideally, you would do 100 push-ups or until you can't go any more. But we're talking about the minimum. 42 push-ups in 2 minutes. 80 crunches, also known as sit-ups, in 2 minutes. Now it gets a little more difficult. You also have to do some pull-ups. 10 pull-ups for men, 5 pull-ups for women. That's a minimum, of course. You can do more. You have to run 1.5 miles in less than 10.5 minutes, or less than 12 minutes if you're a woman. Now you have to be able to run 3 miles in less than 28 minutes if you're a man, less than 31 minutes for a woman. That's military shape for the Marines. Let's look at it again. 42 push-ups in less than 2 minutes, 80 crunches or sit-ups in less than 2 minutes, 10 pull-ups for the men, 5 pull-ups for women, running 1.5 miles in less than 10.5 minutes or 12 minutes if you're a woman, running 3 miles in less than 28 minutes for men and less than 31 minutes for women. Interesting, isn't it? Well, let's see what's in the news here. One of the things I thought you might find interesting, we've actually talked about this before because so many people are doing it, diagnostics. People are getting diagnostics all the time. But the radiation exposure that we receive from these diagnostics, I'm talking about CT scans and MRIs with contrast, can have some deleterious effects. A recent study at one New York hospital found that nearly a third of its patients undergoing multiple cardiac imaging tests were getting a cumulative effective dose of more than 100 millisieverts of radiation, equivalent to 5,000 chest x-rays, all done with FDA approval. CT scans are 100 to 1,000 times higher than conventional x-rays in terms of their radiation dosages. Scientific American confirms that a single CT scan subjects the human body to between 150 and 1,500 times the radiation of a conventional x-ray. That's a lot. Researchers at the National Cancer Institute estimate that 29,000 future cancer cases could be attributed to 72 million CAT scans performed in this country. That happened back in 2007. The FDA-approved tests are killing between 15 to 20,000 people a year from cancer. That's an estimate. People being exposed to excessive radiation. Remember on this program not too long ago, we had a Supreme Court justice in the state of Utah that was undergoing treatment for his cancer, and they killed him from excessive radiation. It could happen to you. Beware. Currently, it's estimated that at least 80 million CT scans are done each year in this country. In 10 years, that adds up to 80 million scans, enough to irradiate the entire American population 3 times. In 20 years, it would be 6 times. Yet the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, reports that an estimated 30 to 50% of imaging tests are believed to be medically unnecessary. Now, there are alternatives such as thermography, which can be correct 8 to 10 years before a mammogram can detect a mass in the body. But medicine has a rationalization as to why they do otherwise. I'm Dr. Dan Roy. You've been listening to The Royal Treatment today, and thank you for being with us. I hope that your time has been well spent and you're a little more educated today than you were an hour ago. If so, our job and our time has been well spent. We'll be back again next week for another show of The Royal Treatment. Until then, you all be well, my friends. Goodbye.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mama. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years.